What an incredible week of the Nightly Nuge. We've made it to Free For All Friday.
Feel good, Keith. It's the hunting season. I'm so stimulated right now. I might squirt right through this technical apparatus and cleanse your soul. Happy Spirit of the Wild hunting season 2023, everybody. I'm doing 2 more shows. Is today Friday? Because I will be in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan with Jason Hartless on drums. What an animal. And Johnny B on the bass guitar. What an animal. And I'm going to play the greatest soundtrack for shit kickers the world has ever known at the casino in Harris, Michigan, tonight and tomorrow night, and nobody will be able to resist the Spirit of the Wild dance-a-thon from Uncle Ted. I love rhythm and blues and rock and roll, and I love people that love it. I love you, Keith. I love Tim. I love the Nightly Nuge Army, because we go to tednugent.com and we show the people that we still stand up for real conservative values. It's so cool. I'm like high on life.
Yeah. You know what, Ted? I told the listeners last night that tonight I want to talk about flags, and I noticed you just happen to have a flag guitar over your shoulder there.
Yes.
Where could an individual get that flag guitar?
You know, I'm going to donate this particular flag guitar to this event that you got coming up. What is that event you got coming up?
Yeah, at the Trump National Golf Course on October 5. It's a fundraiser. John Steubens is putting it on for the documentary he's putting out. I'm so excited, Ted, to go and speak at that event because your Attorney General, Ken Paxton, is going to speak there. And, you know, we didn't talk about that this week, but what's your take on Ken Paxton being acquitted there?
Very important. If people want these autographed guitars, we have a bunch of beautiful ones. The middle finger guitar, the Fred Berry guitar, the Great White Buffalo guitar, the Adios Mofo guitar, and this American flag guitar. You go to my son's email. My son's email is toby@tednugent.com. We'll put it on the screen there, toby@tednugent.com. But boy, the Ken Paxton saga is the essence of the Nightly Nuge and experimenting in self-government. When we saw the attack on Ken Paxton by a bunch of rhinos, Republicans in name only, which happens to infest Texas right now, I got a hold of my shit kickers. I got a hold of Sam and Shannon and Ralph and Calvin and Andy and Tim and Ashley and Mike and my whole gang of conservative activists in Texas, and we hammered those senators that were on the fence, not sure whether Ken Paxton should go through with this impeachment. And that is activism in its finest moment, because we put enough pressure on our elected employees that we got a real conservative Attorney General, Ken Paxton. He's not quite Chris Kobach, but he's a damn good Attorney General, and we got him acquitted on all counts of the impeachment attempt. So my friends on the Nightly Nuge, go to hunternation.org, because participation in this sacred, blood and guts paid for experiment in self-government is essential, that we are all into politics, and all politics are local. And what we're talking about is Ken Paxton was acquitted on all charges because he is a true conservative warrior fighting against the leftists, the Sheila Jackson Lees and the Beto O'Rourke's and our own Greg Abbott, not securing the border. Ken Paxton stands up for absolute Second Amendment rights. He fights the abortion maniacs. He stands up for private property rights, tax accountability. We got Ken Paxton acquitted because we the people raised hell. That's what the Nightly Nuge is all about.
Yeah, and I would say go to johnsteubens.com. It's the October 5 event. I'm looking so forward to go represent Hunter Nation there. I know there's a lot of other people. John Solomon, a great journalist, is going to be there. And I'm simply going to let the people in the audience know, Ted, exactly what you just said. It's so important that people vote their values, and particularly hunters, go out and vote your values. That's why we're talking about flags. Go to hunternation.org and become part of the Hunter Pride 365 and get yourself a shirt, and then go to tednugent.com and get you one of those I will not comply. Now, on the topic of flags, Ted, in I don't know how you pronounce it.
Hamtramck.
Hamtramck, Michigan, it's a small town near Detroit, and their city council has voted to ban the pride flag. Think about this, right? In America, 2023, you would think that the leftists would come in and steamroll that city council, because how dare they defy the woke agenda of the left and tear down and ban the pride flag. But they did it in Hamtramck, Michigan. Oh, let me give you one little piece of information that our listeners may not know. It is an all-Muslim city council that banned the pride flag. The woke culture isn't up there telling them to stop it. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I've seen the footage of the Muslim community rising up against this horror of child sex manipulation and child sex trafficking, which is what the gay rights agenda is all about. It's about what the drag queen world has infested our schools and our communities. And those great Muslims in southeast of Detroit, actually it's northwest of Detroit there, in Hamtramck, they all showed up and they said, you can't promote this gay pride flag because it's about child molestation. It's about drag queens, perverted, ugly, fat, nasty, unclean men dressed up like some kind of French whore, butt twerking, little boys and girls singing, "We love it when you kiss me where I pee." That's what that gay pride flag represents. It's not harmless. It's harmful. In fact, if you go to tednugent.com, these are selling like hotcakes down in Hamtramck because this is my pride flag. I'm proud of the Founding Fathers' celebration of truth, logic, common sense, and self-evident truth in that sacred document of the U.S. Constitution, which this week on Nightly Nuge, we're celebrating the 236th anniversary of the U.S. Constitution. And that's the flag that, you know, right now, Uncle Sam is a gangster organization. Joe Biden is not my president. He's not anybody's president. He's a feeble, scary, criminal, corrupt, nasty man who can hardly form a sentence. And the whole world is laughing at us because this freak is considered the president and the commander-in-chief of the United States of America. So God bless the Muslim community for standing up against the treachery, the evil, the nastiness, the criminality, the unbelievable toxicity of the drag queen movement. And you can't have a drag queen flag where children can be abused like that. So God bless. Those are the real Michiganiacs that I align myself with.
Well, Ted, that's so unlike you because you're supposed to be so prejudiced, and here you are. You know, I say that tongue in cheek, obviously, you know, because you do not care literally about race, color, gender, creed. I mean, when you see good, you say it's good. When you see evil, you say it's evil. Now, you mentioned two great attorney generals, Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach, and then the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Who's the Attorney General there in Michigan for you? Dana, is it Dan?
Just a horrible human being.
Well, you know, so are you saying your Attorney General doesn't stand toe-to-toe and side-to-side with Ken Paxton and Chris Kobach? And the reason I raise this is because on this issue of the tear down the pride flag and they're in Hamtramck, Michigan, your Attorney General called that town a national embarrassment.
Well, if you want a national embarrassment, just look for anybody with a D after their name, quite honestly. I mean, universally. I know Joe Manchin once in a while hiccups something that makes sense, but he's still on the side of open borders. The Democrats are for open borders, the invasion. The Democrats are facilitating the invasion, the chemical war from the chemical warfare from the communist Chinese of fentanyl, slaughtering innocent American lives every hour of the day. That's what the Democrats stand for. And my beloved birth state of Michigan is strangled. It's completely shackled by this Gretchen Whitmer governor and the Dana Nessel Attorney General, who have passed a law that if you misgender someone, if you see some guy with a beard and a skirt and you reference him as sir, that's a felony. So if you want an embarrassment, unfortunately and heartbreakingly and embarrassingly, that the Democrat governors and the Democrat attorney generals are the essence of embarrassment because they're anti-law, they're anti-justice, they're anti-goodwill and decency, they're anti-American. And for citizens to stand up against the toxicity and the evil and the nastiness and the child abuse of the drag queen world and their pride flag, if you want embarrassment, it would be Dana Nessel and Gretchen Whitmer, right along with all the other Democrats of this country.
You know, Ted, we had a great week. You raised another outstanding point when you talked about the invasion at the southern border. In fact, that's my plan for us next week. I want to tackle what's going on down there. I mean, the videos that's coming out from the border, the statistics, what's going on up in New York. Now other parts of the country are starting to realize what the border states have been realizing. And I want to tackle that just disaster every day next week. But I did appreciate the fact that we debunked a lot of myths. And for those that didn't listen, we debunked a lot of myths, Ted. So I just want to ask these questions one more time for those that missed this week and encourage those that missed to go back and listen. Did you dodge the draft by pooping your pants and not showering?
I did nothing to dodge the draft.
Did you ever have sex with Courtney Love?
Never met Courtney Love.
Did you ever have another mother sign their daughter over to you and you adopt a 14-year-old girl for the purpose of sex?
Never happened.
Did you ever diss the Native Americans?
Never have, never would.
Do you believe you should be in the rock? I just say that because I know you want to kick me through. But Ted, I'm going to, instead of asking the question this way, we have gotten so many emails this week that all said it's a travesty that Ted Nugent is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I'm going to say it. Ted Nugent deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because he is truly one of the top 100 rock and roll guitarists, and his music well deserves that honor. Ted, tomorrow we're going to talk about the outdoors.
And the mystical flight of the arrow in the fall hunting season of 2023 will cleanse your soul. Be sure you see the Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild celebration on the Pursuit channel 8 times a week with my incredible wife, Shemaine, Queen of the Forest. Thank you for making Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild on the Pursuit channel the #1 hunting show ever. I think I got to get a hold of Jackie Bushman because Jackie says he's the longest running hunting show on television. And Shemaine and I started in 1989 on public television. So we might want to get Jackie Bushman on the show and find out who's been doing it longer. Plus, I think he was so into tennis that I think he missed a lot of his youthful hunting opportunities. Meanwhile, it's 2023 and this is my 75th hunting season, and I'm going to celebrate it like I mean it. Have a great, great weekend, Keith.